progress.
So today I want to talk about how there is a false dichotomy between urgency and triviality. And I'm currently recording this during the hurricane that hilary or whatever that is hitting Los Angeles and actually causing people, I'm sure, to lose their lives. The reason I'm doing this is because I just feel like this topic has been weighing on me for so long. I am a sci-fi artist and a strong believer in philosophy, and I think that now is the perfect time, more than ever, to talk about something while I'm actually experiencing it. So in preparation for this video, I've already had to decide, like, am I gonna wear a pirate patch or glasses? I had to ask myself, how am I gonna record on both my laptop and my iPhone? And all this while an earthquake literally hit while I was getting ready for this video, which actually scared the shit out of me because I have trauma from that, and I have family from Mexico City that literally, like, that shit fucking scared me. I literally packed my to-go things and everything. Basically, today I want to talk to you about how there is a fake dichotomy between, and when I say dichotomy, I mean that they say, like, oh, urgency, real, like, urgency, right? Like life or death urgency cannot exist in the same realm as trivial bullshit. But I'm calling bullshit on that and saying that our generation, Gen Z, is actually really good at exposing this, not just in like the sense that, oh, Gen Z can't take anything seriously. Like, I don't think people really should be joking about their hurricane, to be honest, but that's another thing. That's not what I'm here to talk about. I think that in the state of the world, the youth are really good at pointing out the absurdity and actually leaning into absurdity in these kinds of situations where life and death are heavy on everyone's mind, and almost the future feels like, is it even gonna happen, like, at this point? Like, so come with me, I'm gonna do a little breakdown of two media examples that I can think of that highlight this to me in a really good way. And so the first one is, of course, the one that actually inspired me to make this video topic and had me weighing and musing on it for so long, which is Barry. I love that show. I have not watched season 3 because I cannot see Hank suffer. I'm sorry. Like, Hank, I can't. So anyways, but Hank is the one who brings this in this scene so well to me. So well. No Hank, if you're watching, I love you, by the way. You're a go. You're a fucking go, for real.
Right, someone bombing a house?
Oh, and Cal, peep this. Give me your phone. You need the Detonate app. Oh, wait, shit. I need your face. Bingo. Would you like to receive Detonate special promotional offers? Absolutely. Can I have access to your photos? Yes. Location services? Always. Can I share personal information with market research? Sure, why not? And you are set. Berkman goes boom. Your password is suddenly Seymour 1985, but the S's are all dollar signs.
Thanks.
Okay, so obviously in that scene, they are the death. Like, they are the bringers of death in that case, right? And so it's a little bit different, but it still rings so true to my experience because, and I hope, like, you do too, because in these types of situations, like, technology, I think, has always been sort of like pushed and funneled as like either amazing and like the bringer of like peace and humanity, like, is totally gonna like evolve with this, or it's the opposite and it's like, oh, it's actually like gonna cause a dystopia, and it's already like pervading and robbing our free will, etc., etc. Hank clicking yes to those boxes is so me. It's so me. Like, I just appreciate sometimes just getting asked, the fact that like technology will ask permission, that I was like, yeah, I'm down. Like, I'm honestly down. Like, if you would just ask, sometimes I am. Sometimes I will say no. But if I support the product, if I support the app, I'm gonna support it. I'm gonna say yes. Like, so Hank is concerning himself with a really, really trivial matter, right? Like, in that moment, he is about to have a hired assassin bomb probably like the love of his life, maybe not, but at least like his whole family. He's setting him up to go, and he's answering these little questions like, do I want personalized ads? Do I want to subscribe to newsletter, etc., etc.? And I think that for me, the reason why it sang true as an example of like, well, you can like absolutely like not only have trivial shit happen in the face of like destruction, mass destruction, but also you can embrace it, and like it can be a very much a part of your life. Like, I don't know if I sound hella Californian to be saying like, no, like, I fuck with your product, I fuck with you, and I want to support the vision. Like, I see the hustle. Like, sometimes trivial shit can remind you of the very human need that brought you to whatever like situation you're in, like the life or death situation in. Like, does that make sense? Like, it reminds you of your essence as a person, if that makes sense, especially when it comes to dystopic shit, right? Like, when it comes to things like, okay, wage slavery, like everyone, and like factories, and like the industrial revolution, like consequences. So I want to say, like, right now I am focusing on the aspect of, yes, it can be beautiful, and I'm going to now go into why, on top of that, triviality is actually necessary. Because in a world that like goes closer and closer and closer to like some sort of techno fascist, I don't know, wet dream that people want to push us into, it actually reminds us triviality and these little like silly little feelings are actually so valid. Like, they're actually so necessary as little gray areas and liminal spaces for the very freedom that we are trying to get. So I'm now going to point you to a photograph that I saw, one of my favorite photographs. Uh-oh. Chat, is this real? Because I can't fucking find it. But basically it's a photograph of a woman, and she is working in a factory or a sweatshop. And in this photograph, there is the sense of urgency that is both human-made, and so in a way it's like false, but also very real. And that is the fact that, you know, she's committing time theft. The picture is basically she's committing time theft, which is when anytime you take a little extra longer in the bathroom, chit chat, or just find ways to be joyous, or in some way take a little extra longer to tie your shoes. Maybe you have a little cut on your finger and you need to take care of it. Trivial shit that you do on their time. So it's seen as theft to the people who you work for. But basically that photograph is super mega iconic because, you know, in a way the photograph I actually really want to find it because it kind of outs her as someone who commits time theft. But at the same time, it is super, super rare. And it's just really a pretty photograph. That, you know, she's basically smiling and laughing like uncontrollably. Like, it's actually really a cute photo because she's like genuinely having the time of her life. I wish I heard that joke. And the photographer kind of outed her as that. And so in a way, it like kind of does speak to the ethics of photography in situations like that. Like, are you a snitch or no? Like, what happened? I would like to know what happened to that worker after. But it is still a very powerful photograph. And so if I do find it, I'm going to link it here. Like, I'm going to insert it, throw it in. The point is that type of urgency where it's like you're tripping for no reason, like it's like in a natural one, because capitalism is a natural, like, oh, we can keep growing and growing and growing, and it's like, well, no. And now that, you know, the pandemic and the many climate crises that the world is facing have shown us is that nature is literally telling us to slow down. It is. And on top of that, it is pointing out to us, I think, the beauty in triviality. Because people, you know, I really know that for a lot of us, media is what has kept us sane throughout these years. And there is a lot of joy and beauty to be found, a lot of humor to be found in the trivial shit. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm not gonna laugh about a fucking hurricane. I'm gonna laugh at my bestie fucking tripping on themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna laugh at comedians who talk about how awkward it is to find your boss on Tinder or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, like, I think that dichotomy between urgency and triviality, it shows me who's real and who's not. And like, whoever can hold space for both of those things, you're a fucking G. Like, I fuck with you. If you can't, then I'm out. Then I'm fucking out. And that's something that I think nonprofits and low-key like corporations have really exposed themselves as kind of not good at doing at all. And if anything, they try to weaponize that like lean, or like they try to weaponize trivialism as like, oh, like when it comes to like genuine concerns from employees or like big celebrities, when they're like literally out here harming children and hurting them and causing, you know, lifelong issues, to be like, oh, it was a fart joke. Like, hello. There are people who get it twisted. Actually, I'm gonna talk about a short film I want to make that I've had the idea for a long time. But it's a really cute film, and it's basically about, I'm not gonna say too much, but it's basically about a couple who, in the midst of some apocalyptic thing, I'm not gonna say what it is, their main focus is just to save a dying plant, like their dying house plant. And the reason why I made this short film is because of this concept right here, like this fucking concept about how there is urgency and triviality, but when we are so small, and this is like my big picture type thinking, right? Because, you know, when we come and we critique like the false sense of urgency and like, oh, it's a false dichotomy, I've been talking about, in my last example at least, corporations and like factories and shit, like shit that doesn't really matter. But when it comes to like the earth dying, when it comes to our future and our hopes for it becoming bleak, and like this is where I get deep, right? Like when it's like a rightful sense of urgency, like, okay, we all feel like it's our responsibility to do something, but we can't because of these things, or like it feels like we can't, and like we feel powerless to do little things. It's just a reminder, like, yes, there are like systems that are blocking us from doing it, but we're also so small. Like, we're so small. We are a little tiny dot on a dot on a dot of like a freckle of an atom, like in the big picture. When we're faced with our own mortality, it's almost like we break out into the fourth wall and look back on how trivial a lot of our struggles are. We look back and we think, oh shit, like I need to get it together in this way. I need to stop giving a fuck about that. That was kind of dumb. And I need to focus on XYZ. Like it all kind of like clicks when you're faced. At least that's what I've heard, right? And at least that's why I microdose that every day, because every day our world just is more and more on fire. And I don't know about you, but me, I don't want to fucking die like a fucking loser. Like I'll literally kill myself if I don't wait, I'm not allowed to say. I will literally kill myself if I don't achieve what I want to achieve. And all of a sudden there is no hope, and that's it. Like that is not that, no. And so urgency can be fuel. Like urgency can be good. Urgency, there's a reason for it. Like there's a reason why we as animals feel it. Yes, it has been manipulated, and we've all kind of been manipulated to feel it when things like where it's really not that deep. Like I was on a fucking film set, right? And you know, that shit felt like life or death. And then someone, like my key PA, was like, just so you know, like, we're not saving lives here. Like, we're just making a movie. And I was like, oh shit. True. Like, this, and it's like, I'm not trying to weigh the importance of anything. I'm not trying to say that this movie, as silly as it is, isn't actually going to change people's lives, because I do think it will. Like, it was actually an amazing story. I'm honored to be a part of it. But it's like, oh shit, like put shit in perspective, right? Like put that shit down, put your fucking phone down, and do what the fuck you want to do with your life. Because I don't know about you, but if looking out your window or looking out your fucking TikTok feed and seeing how fucked everything is isn't the motivation you need, like, I don't know what to tell you. Our future is uncertain. Yes, it's even uncertain that your idea of success is even going to be relevant in like 2 years, 2 months, right? We're all seeing what's going on with Hollywood and Africa and etc. But that doesn't mean that your pain and your dreams aren't valid, and that you shouldn't be doing what makes you feel happy every day, even if it feels trivial. Yes, even if it feels fucking trivial, and even if you go and oscillate between like feeling delusional confidence and the next day you're like, literally, why am I doing this? Like, is this, you know, I was in a studio session with Jadena, and he said, you know, it was like a lot of us fans that were invited there were like selected, but it was a vibe. Honestly, like, shout out Jadena, like that was a vibe. But he said, you know, I don't know. Is this like, he was on his drive over there to the studio, he was like, is this really like what we could be doing right now? Like, is this really like even he? And he is, I would say, someone that has already, in my eyes, made it over and over and over again, and people know him for basically being super talented and always putting his heart out there. And so the fact that even he who like walks that line of authenticity to the point where he can like genre bend and like literally just follow his soul, follow his soul no matter where it takes him, he had those thoughts. So don't worry, it is beautiful to be trivial, and it is also beautiful to hold that urgency. You can do both. If there's anything that you should take from this video, it's that all in common, especially if you work in media, like, yes, it can feel very, very trivial, and honestly it is, but just know the time and place for it. Then you're good. You're fucking good. Be fucking real. Like, be real. Wake up, because things are changing. And if you're already on that wave of like, I want to be so real that I can hold both triviality and urgency, then you already get it. Just start embodying it. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say embody it is so that we can see each other who do it. Because none of this shit really matters if other people aren't involved in it. Like, it really, really doesn't. So just remember, other people need to witness it, and you are literally, you could save lives. Like, honestly, who knows? Like, your art could save someone's life. And just put it fucking out there, and yeah, enjoy life. Enjoy life. Subscribe, because I'm trying to run this up. So yeah, and I'm gonna eat. And then if you're on TikTok and you're watching on TikTok, follow me. Thank you.